Well, hello again. Good evening. This is Kazaki Flyer 66. Well, that didn't work. Might help to turn the camera on. My house of echoes. Adjust the microphone. I have had all kinds of trouble out of my little laptop tonight. My streaming PC is doing fine, but my laptop is having a conniption. But overall, we're going to bear through this. At some point, I'm waiting for my throttle to disconnect. If it hasn't already, I haven't heard it. Well, as you can see, tonight we are in Upper New York State at the airfield of 4B6. We're on the upper up. We're at the Hudson River, and we're going to take a little fly around here before we head out on our main course to head up to a. We're going toward a familiar campground, and we're going to do what the teenagers that camp there couldn't do. We're going to land in the lake, or at least we're going to try to. Trying to seems to be what we've been doing really a lot of lately. I've made more mistakes in the past week than I have in years. All right, now, first things first, let's see if we can start the engine. Make sure our brake is set before we try to start anything. Okay. Brake set, controls locked. Okay. Magnetos to both. Mixture to full rich. Check our fuel pump or our fuel gauge or valves. And the gauges actually. Okay, valves are open. Let's cut on our alternator and our battery. Nav lights on, strobe light, landing light. We'll go ahead and cut the taxi light on. We'll cut on the overhead red. We want to turn our fuel pump on. And we're going to be brave. We're going to crack open the window here. And we're going to yell clear prop to this guy outside. And close our window. And let's push the starter button. Well, it helps to prime the engine. We have a startup. How about that? Watch our temperatures. Let the engine warm up a bit, get the oil pressure up. We're at the low end. We've still got a little bit of taxiing to do. So if anybody wants to join us here at 4B6 in New York State, you're more than welcome to. And yes, we've got the flight plan loaded. Get my silliness reset here. Okay, get that pushed. Now, I want to roll. Any other time you'd be rolling all over the floor. There. It's not easy being me, but I've got it a lot better than some. Okay, brakes off. That released our controls down there. Have a little throttle in. Start turning here. Now we'll taxi up to the end of the runway. You can see our parking area isn't quite on the runway. It's about a quarter of a mile away from the actual runway. So if you've got engine problems, you've got quite a ways to push. Now, where are we going? That's my feet problem, not the airplanes. So we can do it easier from inside. Okay, here we are at the end of runway 2. The winds haven't changed much since earlier. Looks like they're still blowing down the runway with a little bit of northwest or northeast or north wind. Hey, Colonel Ford, what an awesome raid. Awesome. Hope you made it to Detroit. Let's stop, get our brakes set here. Let's take a little look around this place. Make sure our engine's throttled back. You can see where the airport really is back here. Quite a lot of traffic right on the country road that leads up to it. You can see there's lots of folks flying here on the eastern U.S. server up here in New York. Ah, what is this? Stop! Throttles keep running away. Yeah, there's you must be killing the throttle someplace else that I've got a throttle plugged in. Willow Run, that's one of your favorite. I'm surprised you didn't make it to Kalamazoo. Well, since the airplane seems eager to fly, I think we'll take advantage of it while we can. Let's get in the air. It's going to take a long time to get there, in this little bird dog. This is our aircraft of choice today, a L-19 bird dog. It's not the fastest aircraft, but it'll get you there. We've got our pontoons on because I foresee some water landings in our future. No, that's not killing. Who Willow Run was it? Okay, you made them. We flew them. Okay, about 15 miles from where I'm sitting right now is was Cortland Army Air Force Base, where they trained crews on long land navigation exercises for B-24s. It was a huge base. The airport is still there. Up to about 15 years ago, we were having air shows there. And I think Morton Thiokol built a plant there where they build rockets now. Matter of fact, I have I don't know where it's at, but on the business suit that I can no longer wear because I've gotten too big for it, on the chest pocket, I've got a set of aviator wings from World War II that were worn by a B-24 pilot who was trained at Cortland. This isn't getting us in the air. There, let's try this again. Power coming in. Get on the runway. Rudder dance. Okay, airborne. You're coming up. And our first stop tonight is a little spot down here on the river. I wish the scenery. Yeah, I've looked all over the net for scenery for this. There's nothing out there to do it justice. So you'll have to crack open your history books and take a look. Our first stop was only 2 miles from where we took off. Trim her up here a little bit. We're doing 120 miles an hour, or about 100 knots. 104 knots, exactly. Now, I really wish the scenery for this was better, because this is a very iconic point in American history. We're on the spot of where Lake Champlain narrows into the Hudson River. That little block building right below us is poorly represented, but that is Fort Ticonderoga. Where a bunch of mountain boys decided they'd do some help for the country, and they took the fort, and not a shot was fired or an Englishman hurt. The And these guys took the guns out and trekked them all the way to Boston. And as you can see, the terrain around here, first you've got to cross the river, and there's hills and lots of steep hills over there. Okay, we need to set a heading of about 332 or so. Here's the airport we just left. That's 46B or 4B6. 4B6. Watch our compass. It's going to take us a while. We've only got 36 miles to our next spot. I believe that's Silver Lake. Not sure. Is it Silver Lake first, or are we going to the Olympic Village? We're going to the Olympic Village. That's 36 miles away. So instead of going over this hill, I think we'll go around it. This airplane's about the best PFR thing I've ever seen. Although I think one of the Stinsons that's out is actually, it's even slower than this one is. What do you think of the Mississippi Viper Strike? I figured you guys would have a blast on that. That's one wide river. The only thing I like to know is that when the apocalypse comes, those bridges will be down and all the people on that other side of that river are going to be over there, not over here. I got enough people coming out of this part of the world. See if I expand that just a little bit. I can see that hill on the terrain. I was telling Colonel Ford earlier today that when I was flying with him on his stream, that my biggest challenge today would be staying out of the trees. And see, we're flying awfully low to the countryside. And this place, he has even hills taller than home here. That was a little hiccup. That's better than some of the hiccups we've had in the servers today. Now the object, of course, is to don't put your plane in a tree. We're going around these two peaks, and we'll try to get back on course here. I don't think the terrain is wanting to help us. That's the one thing about this part of Upper New York. There's lots of farmland. Of course, it's off to our right, so we need to try to ease that way. Okay, that's a big hill up there. It looks like it's right on our course. So we're going to have to pick one way or the other to go around it. I think I'm going left here. We're giving it a little bit too much gusto here. We'll cut our engine back, which will bring our RPMs back, at least to the top of the green line. So this is a good way to see New York. Flying up the valleys at a really slow speed, doing the air search thing. Okay, here we come around the mountain. We'll have to turn to the right a bit, get back on course. Oh, I'm sorry, Colonel Fork. I missed your comment about the B-24 base. It's Cortland. We're in. We're at. It's the name of the base is. Hold on, just a second. Let me call up the. Get the plane pitched up a little bit. So I can look at the map. And 9A4 is the name of the airfield. Close trees. We'll go down this valley a bit. That looks like a bog if I've ever seen one. I don't want to land a plane in that. Okay, we'll come around this hill, straighten up our course to 330 or so. We could have taken a faster plane, but tonight I just wanted to do some sightseeing. You don't know how many landings I've practiced there at Cortland because it's quick. It's a quick takeoff from KMSL, and just fly down the glide path from runway 30 at MSL, and it'll put you right onto the airport at 9A4. we've got several highways that'll lead right to it as well. But yeah, that's where I saw the first my first Tora air show at. Me and my wife at the time had gone up to see that. She's no longer with us, but she got to pose with one of the commemorative Air Force zeros at that air show. I think that was the same air show. We had a Jug, a P-38, two Corsairs, four P-51s, a P-40. We even had a Tomcat. And this was on the ground. I'm not counting the stuff that came in by air for just a flyby. We got a C1. This was back in the days when the C-141s were still flying, and we got one of those. We didn't rate the C5, but we got a full flyby of F4s flying out of Columbus, Mississippi. RF4s. I got tickled when I grew up. The area of Tennessee that I grew up in is under a restricted military fly zone, and these guys would fly under the holler hilltops and try to evade Nashville's radar and see how close they could get to BNA without being detected, which scared the cows and scared me a few times. I'm talking, you could have touched the undercarriage. Hey, there's a river. We're coming up on a river below us, and we're going to follow this one fork of it. We're going up through that little pass up ahead. We're 18 miles out from where we're going for our first to take a peek. How's that for weird speed? I did a P828R. I just have the Coronado. I don't have the Just Flight one. But that's what I flew with Howard's challenge yesterday. I wanted something that was comfortable at 90 knots and 1,800 feet. And I want to thank Skip for doing a brilliant job handling our traffic all day on 36 left. Skip was brilliant. And Colt Nebo handled us on 27. We did landings on 27 and takeoffs down at 36 left. There for a while, we had a regular, a pretty nice circuit going. Now, I wonder if that river will take us to where we want to go or not, or we have to go over that hill. I'm afraid we're going to have to go over. We'll take a peek around this shoulder up here, and if it's blocked off, we'll start climbing and go over. Ooh, a Canadian flying Canuck. I love everybody's Simpson names that they put up. Sometimes it's amusing to read them. Sometimes it's offensive. How'd they get that close to being over the line? I don't know. You consider how paranoid Facebook gets nowadays. Okay, what you got for us, Hillside? Left. Yeah, left. We'll go around the shoulder of that hill up there. This might not. I might be wrong here, and it won't be the first time. But we're going to take a look anyway. All we can do is squash down into some trees. In which case, we'll pick an airport close and start there. May change planes to do it, but if all else fails, go to the Beaver. Well, enjoy your dinner, Mr. Colonel Ford. I've had my dinner. He's what's going to have to pass for dinner tonight. Wonder what that is on the mountain up there. Something on the ridge up there. I think that'd be a great place to put a telescope. So start climbing. Put some power back in. Not going the direction we want, but we can fix that, I think, once we get over this saddle up here. Reminds me of Fabio's Let's Find Santa challenge last year. If I'd have known what kind of challenge it was, I think I'd have flown this aircraft instead of the Beaver. The only thing I'm grateful is that a rifled musket can't reach this high. Well, where we're aiming for is one of the lakes up ahead. It says we're 9 miles from where we want to go. Pull the power back. I'm going to descend a little bit. There's that little lake on our map. There's the other one. Okay, good reference points visually. The funny thing is, the places we're going tonight have both had really bad movies made about them. Well, at least there's an airport here. You can see the lights. See if you can see it on our map here. Yep, there it is. KLKP. Kilo Lima Kilo Papa. Okay, the big lake up ahead is where we're going. Even in the middle of this wilderness, there's a golf course. Now, I'll bet it's not in the scenery from the game. But once, a long time ago, miracles took place here. A mighty giant came to this part of the world and was slain by a little midget. That movie was all they made that movie about that. Well, goodness, what I get for talking too much. Okay, I can see the speed skating rink from up here. Let's go. That throttle. So some of the stuff from the Olympics are still here. That's the old speed skating course. On one of the hills around here is the bobsled run. And there should be some ski slopes close by that they had the alpine downhill at. Oh, great. Now we get to play Pimp the Gator. One of the other movies that was made about this place, they put a giant alligator in this lake. Okay, got our flaps coming down. Just let her coast. Try not to hit a bass boat. People out here fishing. Better they be alligator bait than us. That was a big old gator. Oops. The bounce killed us. Bounce and switching the camera angle. Let's get back to the main menu. We'll start here at Lake Placid. Or at least we'll try to. There it is. Let it start the engine running. See if we can get our flight plan loaded back in. I have to delete some things because it gets fussy. Yeah, let's. Here it is. Come on. Well, crap. Well, we'll just have to wing it. Okay. Here. Depart. Luckily, I've got it. I've got the same flight plan on another map, so we at least know where we're going. What I'm going to do is load the flight plan here on the ground here at Lake Placid, or at least what's left of the flight plan. Hopefully, our the only thing we've the only thing we've got to compete with at next stop is the guy with a hockey mask. I didn't think the place actually really existed, but here it is. And Jepson has some scenery for it, but I don't have it yet. I'm going to get it, I think, before October. And let's change the weather because it is miserable in New York today. We want few clouds so we can observe the weather or observe the ground. Okay, flight plan. Flight plan. Oh. Now first, I want to go to the menu and delete. Yes. Before you rolled all the way to the other end of the runway, set the brake. guess. And let's see. Now, where are we going destination wise? Okay, that's where we're going eventually. I wish the custom waypoints were in here. Put this, you could remember to when we transfer a SLK. SLK, Adirondack Regional, yep. And is it one N or two? Wrong button. Wrong button. 3 N's. How about that? Okay, because that's our next waypoint after where we're going. Okay, what heading do we need to fly? Okay, it's approximately 14 miles to our next stop on a heading of 29 degrees. Let's see if we can get airborne here. Power coming in. That's what's nice about the sim. You crack up, get back on the horse, and ride again. All right, here we go. Okay, there's Lake Placid over there. Looks like the flying's going to be easier off to the right over here. If we try to go straight ahead, we'll hit that mountain. Although, I think going left might be advantageous in itself. On trim. There you go. It wants to go up. I like that in an airplane, but not in this case. That's a Neese Valley down there. That's fun. Mental note, you got to come back here for that. Sure, our flaps are up, our gear's up. Yeah. This is why I'm never going to be a real pilot. I forget too many things to, and what order to do them in. As we get past this little valley, we'll want to bear to the right a little bit. Not very far, but Even when it's not far, if it's full of hills, it can feel like flying forever. Main question I've always got: why would teenagers want to drive this far to go camping? Okay, now there it went. Now it's going nuts. Thank you, OBS. Okay, the throttle's still working. And so's our rudder pedals and our ailerons. Wants to disconnect and reconnect, that's fine. I don't have to get my crippled butt out of my chair. Check map. Because we're not loaded on our own map. Oh no. Hey, we're on course. We're going between Taylor Pond and Union Falls Pond. And we can see both of them up ahead. Taylor Pond is on the right up here on the right side strut. And Union Falls is over here on the left strut. Where we're going is in between and up ahead a ways. We'll get another chance to muff up the landing on the water again. Competing in a landing challenge one day and can't land the next. Okay, start cutting the throttle back and descending. Now, there's your field. Big open field with one tree right out in the middle of it. Here you go, kid. Hold this golf club and stand under that tree. Okay, we're coming up on it. This is the Silver Lake of Legend. Somewhere around this is Camp Silver Lake. Home of that Voorhees boy. He's got a bad reputation. Flaps coming down. The plane is slowly coming down. says it's 1,000 feet a minute, but don't believe it. More flat. Even more barn doors out, down to 75 knots. At the throttle. Full flats. Okay. We're down. Okay, down here we have the water rudder. Raise our flaps back up. See if we can turn around here, or at least get turned. Can't wait to get the parallel 42 scenery that Jepson did for the guys. Of Camp Silver Lake. When I do, we may come back here for Halloween. All right. At least we didn't crack up this time. I'd have hated to start back there like Placid. Although there are a couple of airfields closer. Okay, flaps up. Power coming in. And we're up. Doesn't take much to get this airplane in the air. It does take a lot to get her to climb, though. Okay, now we'll head over to the waypoint John. Which is 7 miles away. Over on the other side of this valley. The only disadvantage of this aircraft is you can't put it on autopilot. You got a hand flyer. Which is why trimming it is so important. It's too much up. There, coming down a little bit at a time. God, I miss Napster. More importantly, I miss artists who weren't so greedy. Most folks just didn't care if you played their, they were just happy if you played their music, let alone if they were getting a dime for it. All right, here we go. It really is just a basic airplane. Now you see the airport up ahead of us. Now, if they do put forest fires into FS 2024, this is going to be the place to mess with them. If we could find a way to put them into Flight Sim 2004, they can find a way to do it in FS 2024. Here we are, low and slow, and there's somebody up there in a hurry. $240,000 feet above the ground. That sure ain't us. Yeah, no worries. We'll be back to this place come Halloween. Okay, gear down. Notch flaps. Throttle's way back. All right. Put that strut where it blocks the runway, and you're doing fine. You can see the runway, you're a little bit offline. We're way too high, but hey, simulation. Nice. Pedal touchdown, please. Nope. Get on those brakes. Raise your flaps back up. Looks like there's a taxiway ahead of us. Just a nice little fun little flight into the Adirondack Mountains of New York. I saw it earlier in the week, and I actually fell in love with the scenery up here and wanted to show it off for everybody. I know it's not a usually one of my 3-hour flights, but hey, an hour and a half, that's pretty good. And it doesn't exhaust me, and it doesn't exhaust you. And now you can get on to some other flight tonight. I know Scruffy is going to be back in a couple of weeks, so he'll be back on Sunday nights. Well, there were 2 runways. We landed on the right one, I guess, but here's 27. We'll cruise into the parking lot here. We'll go park next to the gas truck. This will save time fueling back up. There we go. Now, cut the engine. Engine off. Okay. Lights off. Battery or alternator off. Magnetos to off. Boost pump off. My dome lights have already been turned off. Okay, up here. Oh, we were almost out. Oh, we've been ready to switch tanks. Switch the fuel to off. Fuel valve to off. We still have another 11 gallons over here. And battery off. Right side door open. Open the window. And our co-pilot can get out now. It was fun having someone with us tonight. And more importantly, it was very nice to have all of you with us tonight. And I want to thank Colonel Fork for the amazing raid that he brought in a lot of people with earlier. Here's what the bird dog looks like from the outside. And let's see if we can scoot over here and check and see who's online and who we can raid. We don't have anybody on. Got a Jerdman on tonight. Want to raid Jerdman? Let's raid Jerdman. I don't think I've raided him before. Nobody's doing Flight Simulator, but Jerdman does, has in the past. Let's take a look.